Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 0 of what is I still can't quite believe I'm saying this, my first ever motorcycle race. Now, I've been a motorcycling fan for many years, and I've actually been lucky enough to be working in motorsport now for 6 years, and the highlight obviously being last season's championship victory with that man there, Carl Wright. However, this weekend, as I say, we are taking to the track for the very first time ourselves, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of shitting it. Now, to go motorcycle racing, you need quite a few things. First things first, you kind of need the bike. That would be a big help. Something to ride, something that you're able to ride, nothing stupid. You also need your equipment. You need the boots, the gloves, the back protector, the helmet. You need a dog tag with your name and date of birth on it, so you're recognizable and identifiable in the case of an accident. You need a specific ACU stamped helmet that is clearly indicated that should you need it in an accident, it is up to standard to try and protect you. You also need a license. You need a specific race license, not a motorcycle road license, not an A license, an A1, an A2 or anything like that. You need a specific ACU license, and they can be obtained on a number of courses throughout the UK throughout the year. In a CTC, which is classroom training course, where you sit down, you go through everything. What do you do in the case of a red flag? What do you do if you have an oil leak? What do you do if there's a safety car? What do you do when you're coming in and out the pits? What do you do when you're going offline? What do you do, etc., etc., to make sure that you understand the flags, the rules, the procedures of a race weekend. And then at the end of that, you'll go through a multiple choice question quiz, which is quite self-explanatory. If you know motorcycle racing and you're a fan of motorcycle racing like I am, you can kind of breeze through that one fairly easy. And then you do the riding, the BRA, which is a basic riding assessment. Mine was a simple case of do some laps, do some practice starts to make sure that you can pull away. If you have an event of stalling it, make sure you know what to do off the line, put your hand up and make yourself as visible to the marshals first and foremost, so they can then get the flags out as quick as possible to then warn the other riders, but to also make sure that you get seen by riders to try and reduce the risk of being hit from behind, which can happen. So in short, that is effectively the main kind of things that you need to go racing. You need obviously transport, you need somewhere to sleep, somewhere to sit, etc., throughout the weekend. But the main kind of priorities is the bike, the license, and the equipment that you have to wear throughout. Which now leads us on to this weekend, which is round 3 of the NG North Gloucester Road Racing Championship. We had the first round at Cadwell Park, we had a second round at Snetterton, and the third round is at Pembury in Wales, and it is my first ever meeting. Why am I doing it? Well, why not is the main simple answer. Professionally, my career changed in a matter of seconds for this year. So I was meant to be working with the OMG team again. Things obviously happened out of our control and out of everyone's control. And unfortunately, it meant that I'm no longer working with the team. So it's kind of like, why not? If the opportunity is there to do something, why not just go and do it? Don't wait and just, go, oh, I'll do it next time, because then you'll never do it. You will always put it off. Yes, the anxiety is there right now. The anxiety is real. I'm feeling it. But at the same time, you can't let that stop you from doing things, because then you will literally get nowhere. My brother's been racing motorbikes for years. He's racing the British Superbike Championship with the Junior Supersport. He's done club racing, etc., etc. He's now racing an SV650 in the Mini Twins, which is exactly the same bike and class that I'll be racing. So I'm going to be on track on the same grid. Probably not on the same piece of tarmac, because he'll be well at the nearer the front and I'll be well at the back, but that's to be expected as me. So why not give it a go? The money, etc., is a problem. It is expensive, but if the opportunity is there to do it, you may as well go and do it, because you'll never know if you're going to enjoy it. You never know if you're going to be good at something unless you give it a go. Right, you join us at Pembury now. It's Friday evening. We've gone from Thursday lunchtime after Friday evening. We've had the first day on track. It's been an eventful couple of hours, 24 hours. We had van problems on the way and we ended up breaking down. So we drove through the gates behind me at 7 o'clock this morning after sleeping about here at 4 a.m. We arrived at 4 a.m, which was not ideal to start your racing career. However, we have done day one at Pembury, and all in all, it was an okay day. We had no major dramas on my side of the tent. The only problem we had was the gear linkage came off, but these things happen, and it's just a reminder to always do a nut and bolt check after every session, especially on the mini twin, because things vibrate a little bit more. But yeah, all in all, decent day. The first day is all about test day, settling yourself in, finding your groove, finding your rhythm, and stuff like that. For me, it was obviously learning the track again. I rode here end of last year to do my ACU, and all that really is a wobble around. And yeah, just trying to get used to, if you've not raced with people or ridden with people, the hardest part to get used to is being on track with people and people dive bombing you because they're faster and stuff like that. So that's one thing that you've kind of got to just keep in mind, and kind of just, you've got to be mindful of other people whilst trying to do your own thing and not get in their way, but not kind of put yourself in danger, and just focus on doing your own thing and let other people worry about getting past you. So it took a couple of laps just to get used to that, and everybody going a bit banzai. But all in all, it was all right. You know, the nerves weren't quite as high as I thought that they might be coming into the weekend. But yeah, it's now raining. But it is what it is. It will be what it will be. I don't want it to be wet, I want it to be dry. But you can't help the weather, and if it is wet tomorrow, it's wet tomorrow. But yeah, we had one minor problem, like I say, with the gear linkage, which kind of ruined the session. Because we got here dead early this morning, I sat 2 sessions out in the morning just to get some sleep. But other than that, a good day learning, and yeah, we'll see what the morning brings. So tomorrow we're on track. We've got a practice session in the morning, then qualifying, and then we have a race. And then that's my weekend done. So let's go through what Friday looks like to somebody who is arriving to a circuit, whether it's Pembury or Donington or whatever. Whether it's with NG, well, if it's with NG, it would help, because obviously this is an NG meeting. So you rock up, ideally on a Thursday to get set up, but some things obviously out of your control, such as the van, and you rock up on a Friday, you get set up, you make sure that everything is all right for the bike and everything for the practice day, and then you head out on track on Friday. So first things first, you need to go and sign on with the team in race admins, and they will obviously, if you're new, make sure that you know what you're doing, and make sure that you're in the right place at the right time and you're doing things that you should be doing. So once you signed on, you will get a sticker that you just stick on your bike, and that will let you know what practice you're in. And then from there, it's quite simple. Follow the timetable, make sure you're in assembly area when you're meant to be in assembly area. You go out, you do sessions in the morning, so about 3 sessions in the morning. Then you have lunch, and then there is I think it's 4 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, but the 3 slightly longer sessions, and you get to do practice starts on the other side of the track. And that's obviously important to do a practice start. I didn't do a practice start, must be said, but it is kind of important sometimes to do a practice start, just to make sure that, you know, in your mind you're going into the race knowing that, you know, you've had a try of the start and stuff. But I'll worry about that tomorrow on the warm-up lap. So yeah, you've done your running, you've done your your Friday running, and then next up you got to go to scrutineering. Scrutineering is maybe one of the most important parts of the actual weekend itself. Effectively, for those of you who don't know, however, if you're watching this, I imagine that you will know. Scrutineering is basically there to make sure that you and your bike and your kit is fit to race. So for example, the scrutineering bay, which is just there, you'll head over there at the end of the day. You'll pick up your scrutineering form from race admin. It'll have your name. You have to put in, if you haven't pre-entered it on the website, you put in your engine number and your frame number, and then you head over to scrutineering bay, where they will check your bike to make sure that your brakes are in working order, your cables are all right, or your brake lines aren't cracked. Make sure that your rain light works, make sure that all your foot pegs are secure, your levers are secure, your brake lever guard's secure, make sure that your fairing is secured, etc, etc, and just go around the whole bike to make sure that everything is as it should be. Now you have to make sure that a couple of things are lock wired. From the top of my head, you have to make sure that your oil cap is lock wired, your oil sump is lock wired, and your oil filter is lock wired. Obviously them things can get off the track, and if you get oil on the track you cause a bit of carnage, not just for other riders but also for the organisers and the schedule throughout the rest of the day. So once you've scrutinized and you've passed everything with the bike, you then go get your helmet checked, your gloves checked, your boots checked, your levers checked, etc, etc, just to make sure that they are as they should be, and then some sort of working order to make sure that should you have a accident and slide off, things are there and properly protecting you should you need it. So once you've done that and everything is a-okay, you've signed your form with the scrutineering guys, you can then return to race admin, say here's my form, here's my license, and they'll sign you on. And once you sign on, you can get a practice pass. So for my practice tomorrow, I am practice 5. And then yeah, crack on. Everything, obviously most clubs are probably the same, but with NG, I know a lot of people here anyway because of, you know, my stuff in British Superbikes. It's organised and ran by a lot of familiar faces from that paddock. So for me, it's the same for any newcomer, but for me it is all quite friendly. So yeah, if you want to join a race club, come and join NG, and yeah, hopefully this video will help just guide you through a little bit of what to expect if you're coming to your first ever race meeting. Obviously a few things that you probably really should bring, that people probably don't think about really, is chairs and stuff like that, just so you can rest and chill out between sessions. Yeah, just little tiny things just to make sure that you make your weekend as relaxed and as enjoyable as physically possible. So yeah, that's probably about it. Practice 5, qualifying 9, race 9. I expect to be last, but I'm a newcomer, so that is exactly where I probably will finish. Boom! Welcome to Saturday. We are done. My first race weekend is done. We are not out of here, because tomorrow we've got another day of track action for my brother. But for me, on this steed here, we are done. I wobbled around. I didn't finish last. The goal was not to finish last. I didn't finish last. So that was the main goal. But Sunday, for this one, we think we might bag a podium. He had a problem in qualifying, so he started 21st and finished 7th, 6th in class. Could have been 5th, but he got done at the final corner. I just wanted to finish. I didn't want to finish last, and I didn't finish last. Finished second to last, but a long way from the guy behind, and quite a long way from the guys in front. But it doesn't matter, it's all part of the experience, part of the learning curve. And yeah, so you can't beat yourself up over results on your first weekend if you are at the back, because it is kind of to be expected. My goals were to finish the race, and if to finish the race, not to be last, and I ticked both of them goals, so happy days. Alright, so having done my first couple of days, there's a few things that you obviously have to remember and just recommend. Make sure you have somebody with you, not only because if you get injured and you can't get home on your own, at least somebody then is there, but also someone just to help with things. We had quite a lot of mechanical problems and a lot of things to do, a lot of things to change, so always having people around with you to be able to help is always a bonus. Always be prepared for the unexpected. Anything can happen in motorbike racing. Today I had a problem which was my own self-inflicted one, which then led to finding another problem, which then led to finding another problem. We had changeable weather, we had delays in the schedule, so expect the unexpected and just be ready for anything. Don't get too stressed about things. What will be will be. You just have to relax, enjoy the moment, take everything in your stride, and just focus on what you're there to do and focus on riding yourself. And then once you're out on track, again, the same principle, just focus on yourself, focus on riding, focus on just yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry if you're being lapped, if you're being passed by somebody on the inside. Just think more than likely there will be somebody either following him or somebody in his group or whatever on the outside. So don't panic and sit up, just stick to your line, do your line, and let the others work your way around you when you're being lapped. Always bring a chair, bring somewhere to chill out, have a little bit of you time, just to, sit down before or after and just kind of go through everything. But most importantly is just have fun and enjoy it. That is gonna be it. It's kind of a bit of a nothing video, but I kind of wanted to bring my experience of my first race weekend to other people, if that makes sense. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, then oh well, doesn't matter. But yeah, till the next one, thanks for watching. Goodbye.